with Bolan-Beaty Boogie. Yesterday I was talking to Mark and I was like, what do you feel like doing for the show? Have any ideas? And he kept saying the space in between. Let's talk about the space in between. And I'm like, what space in between? What are you talking about? Between what? And I was seeing kind of like this space in the universe, like in actual space. And it felt like somewhere between what would be our unconscious and conscious mind. And he said, well, that's a space too, and he said that has something to do with what he wanted to talk about, but he had something kind of more specific in mind. And so he'll talk about why he chose to talk about this particular place today and why he feels it's important that we get in tune with that. And I think that's about it. We do have a website, www.channelingmarc.com. Has a lot of interviews with celebrities, interdimensionals, other types of energies. So take a look if you get a chance. Yeah. Hello. Hello, everyone. This is Mark. Mark from let's start again. I'll start again. Okay. This is Mark. You may have known me as Marc Bolan from the rock band T-Rex, now in spirit and channeling through Diane's body. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have guests on the show today. For our visitors who are new, I do have a team with me here in spirit, a team of interdimensionals, a team of specialist, and a team of spirit friends who help me. Well, no, I wouldn't call you, well, I guess you are, well, I wouldn't call you sidekicks unless you want to call yourself sidekicks. And I do have some scouts here as well, but I don't think we're going to be traveling today. Okay, so let's start the topic of the show this week. Okay, now, well, pretty much every week, Spirit and Spirit World in general, and the universe, we check in to see what the energy is on Earth, and if you have any questions or what's going on. Right. Okay, so this week, if I look at the energy right now on Earth, or take a section of it, there's a lot of I wouldn't call it necessarily confusion, as well there is some confusion, but it's more about where your place is in the universe, on Earth, in your country, in your life. Okay, so there's a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of that, so I want to look at that, address that, and see if there's any way that we can help on the show today. Okay. Yep. And what? Yeah. Everyone, well, let's preface that. So everyone goes through this, okay? Everyone goes through questioning why you're here, why are you in this physical world, what were you thinking? There's a lot of that. And it's good to remember when you're feeling this type of energy that, so there's different things you can do, okay? But first, remember you did it for a reason, okay? You had a really good reason for coming down into this physical body and enjoying this life, right? And it's up to you. How you want to do that, how you want to live it, the decisions you make, priorities you make, how you want to spend your time, who you want to be with, what beliefs you want to hold, what priorities you have. Did I say that? Okay. Yeah. So it's all up to you. Okay. And we talk a lot about that on the show. Okay. You can be influenced by outside forces other than yourself, but it's also important to take responsibility that you are accepting that into your space. Okay. No one's forcing you. Okay. Yeah. So that's always a good thing to remember. Okay. And that will help. Okay. Yeah. So what we're going to look at, because I'm seeing this confusion, it is a little bit, it's not, okay, let's say it's a little bit of confusion, but it's also not remembering, okay, and so I just want to tune into that energy again, about why there's this disconnect, Okay. Yeah. So everyone, yeah, I think everyone realizes, yeah, that you have a spirit self. Okay. The spirit self has chosen to come into this physical body. Now, yeah. So if we start there, right. The disconnect is when you're not remembering that, or how to access your spirit self. Okay. So that's that. Yeah. So that tends to be when confusions come in, like, what am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing here? Right. Because you have all that information. And that's not to say that you can't change that, what you do or how you feel, right? Let's say you have, yeah, I mean, everyone comes into the physical usually with some type of goals or things that you want to experience, right? Or who you want to be. And it doesn't have to be anything like who you are in spirit. That's kind of the point. You can choose to be somebody completely different. And yeah, and it's exciting. It's exciting when you do that. And we've talked to a lot of spirits, mostly famous ones on the show, who are really very different in their physical bodies than they are in spirit, right. So that's the fun of it. That's the joy. That's the excitement of it, to play a different role, so to speak. Okay. Now, yeah. So you have your core spirit, who is creating all the time, much as you are in the physical, right? So that means that you have the power, you have the ability to create anything. Okay. Anything you're in your life, and anyone who you want to be, right. So that is constant. You cannot change that. You are always going to be expanding, experiencing, and creating. Okay, that's just who we are. That's it. That's the universe. Anyone in the universe, that's it. And that's part of our goal. That's part of our goal, to see what we can become, who we can become, okay, and what the universe can expand into, right. Okay, so when you're having these thoughts about, I just don't know what to do anymore, I don't know who I am, okay, then it's time to maybe stop. Okay, stop. Because you do, but you're disconnecting from that source energy of who you really are, and that's where the confusion comes up. So it takes a reconnection, right? If you're feeling that, it takes a reconnection, because it's all there, you're all there, it's all in place. Okay, the universe likes order. Okay, not chaos. No. It likes to create. No, I wouldn't. No, not willy-nilly. No. The universe creates in an orderly way. Yep. It's not to say that it's boring or it's not exciting, but that's. And so when chaos starts to happen in your life or around you, it could be that changes. That is how change is going to come. Okay, it's better. Well, it's generally more pleasurable to have change come about in less chaotic ways. But sometimes that's the way it happens. That's the way if the energy has to change to maybe a certain degree or amount, or across vast areas, energy areas, then sometimes that becomes necessary. Okay, or in a certain timely way, even though there's no time. But okay, yeah. So let's look at this. Okay, so we know, so this is what we're looking at. We're looking at that space, and we're kind of calling it the space in between. Okay, it's kind of the space in between. It's in between your physical self and your spirit self. Okay, is there a space in between? Well, yes, because this is what you're feeling. You're feeling out of sync because there is this a space in between where you're missing the connection to your spirit self. Okay, and there's also I mean, you have a direct connection, of course, to your spirit self, but you may have lost track of it. Okay, so we're here today to help you reconnect to that. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, so let's just look at okay, you can visual. Okay, I'll mention that. Okay, yes. Meditation is going to be good for this, and I know many of you may not be doing that. Okay, but it will really, really help, because it's going to quiet the kind of the mind. Okay, the mind, the mind we've talked about on the show a lot as well. The mind kind of has a mind of its own. Yeah, literally, it has a mind of its own, and it sometimes forgets it's a team with your spirit self or your body. Okay. You have that, of course, it's all connected, but sometimes you just have to remind it that you're there too, and that you have an agenda and things that you want to accomplish. The mind is, well, yeah, like we said on the show, it's a computer. It's a computer. And sometimes it goes into overdrive and it forgets maybe about emotions and forgets about, maybe the quieter side of your existence or your life or peace. Right. Sometimes it goes into overdrive. So you have to kind of just reconnect to that, or put it in, just realize it and say, okay, you're working over, or when your mind can't stop, racing, then it's always good to meditate, okay? And there's many different ways of meditation, or you could listen to some my music, T-Rex, that's always good, or listen to some music, or just go out and be peaceful, take a walk, something like that, and then just maybe make a little effort to just say, okay, I'm reconnecting to myself. Okay. Yeah. So you could do it like that. It's better. It might be more beneficial, okay, to really start meditating. And then you can you can start maybe visualizing a little bit deeper and going out. Yeah, you do when you meditate, go out of your body a little bit. And you can go out all the way if you want, all the way. You ground yourself, visualize a cord from your root chakra, which is where at the end of your spine. Okay. That's important. Visualize it to the center of the earth. Okay. And you can send energy down, that energy that's not serving you for your highest purpose. Yeah, so you can learn how to meditate. That's part of a basic meditation. And there's all different, find somebody you trust, read a book, do that. So let's say you're meditating, you're in a peaceful spot, okay? Now you can start to do some visualizations, because you may think that you're just using your imagination, and you are, in a way. Yeah, of course, an imagination is very, very important, because that's where you create. It's one of the main avenues or ways that you create, and it's very, 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 very important. Okay, and I think I think a lot of people, or throughout time, seem to think that an imagination is something that's not serious, or something when they call it imagination. Okay, I like to see it more as your creative center. Okay, and when people say you're just imagining it, means it's not serious, it's not really there, it doesn't exist. So no, I don't agree with that. I think it's very, very important, and I think it's important to give yourself the okay to use your imagination, okay? Your creative center. You have a lot of creative centers, of course. A lot of creative centers. And it's important to recognize them and to use them, because that's what they're there for. Okay? Yeah, I mean, of course, as Marc, I was always in a creative center. I never turned that off. Well, no, I never turned it off. I was always creating new aspects of myself, poetry, connecting to other energies. I was making music. I was visualizing, just everything. Yeah. I really enjoy doing that as Marc. Yep. And that's just who I was. That was the main goal. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to today. Okay. Okay, so let's say you're meditating and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm trying to quiet all this, kind of get more peaceful, connect to, I'm confused. Okay, I'm confused about my purpose. So you can go ahead and visualize, and you could do this. You can visualize it from where you're sitting, and then see your spirit energy. And we've talked about this on the show before. There is a connection or a stored spirit energy that is close to the earth that you can access to. But we'll just go ahead and do this visualization where, you could just look ahead in your mind's eye, and you can see your spirit self. Okay, ask to see your spirit self. Okay, you can call in your guides, even if you haven't worked with your guides before. Just say, okay, can you help me with this visualization? Yeah, I want to create this. You can say you want to create this connection again with your spirit self. Okay, you can set, and that's important. Set a high frequency intention or high vibrational intention to connect again with your spirit self. Okay, and you can just say it's that easy. It's that easy, and set that in play. And if you feel, yeah, your guides can help with this. If you feel some energy coming in your space that doesn't feel quite right, then just shut it down. Just say, okay, you can go down my grounding cord, or you could blow it up. Yeah. If you get that far, okay? So this is just very, very, very basic. This can go very much in depth if you wanted to. But let's just do a very simple one here, right? Right. Okay, yeah, so let's say, yeah, you're looking for your spirit self, a connection to, yeah, what? Yeah, I'm getting there. Okay, yeah. So you could see yourself maybe floating as a spirit, as a ball of light, and just ask yourself to come forward. Ask that your spirit self energy to come forward and see what you get. Right? Yeah. Don't put a judgment on it. Don't. Yeah. If you start saying, I think I see something. I think yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. But just let it flow. Let it flow. Don't try to stop it. And then just see what you get. See what you get. And okay, you're saying, oh, I'm not getting anything. Yeah. Well, maybe you don't see it visually. Okay, maybe you see it more on an emotional level. So maybe, yeah, so open up that heart chakra, okay, and say, okay, well, maybe I'm not getting it visually, but can I feel you, right? Can I feel you? So, yeah, that's important, right. And you could get both. You could hear a sound, you could hear maybe a song, that connects to who you are in spirit. So you've built all of this in place already, okay? So it's just calling upon it again, right? You've set all this up. You've set all this up for when this might happen. So you're just tuning into what you've already set up, okay? Okay, so let's say you're not seeing anything, but you're feeling some type of maybe familiar energy, okay? And it could be in any direction around you. We're just working on looking or feeling straight ahead, okay? Let's say this energy is coming and you're like, well, it kind of feels like me, and it kind of feels maybe a little different than me, but I seem to recall this, something like that, okay? And it might take you more than one try. So keep at it if it doesn't work right away, okay? But when you feel this energy, or when you see this energy, say hello, say yeah, greet this energy. It might feel a little different than you, but it is you. And yeah, just double check with your guides, and say, okay, well, I only want, this energy to come, this specific energy of my spirit self to come forward, right? And you'll recognize it, okay? So how do you, so you can do the connection again, visually again, or you can do it emotionally or with feelings, okay? So if you want to do it visually, you could picture yourself calling on a phone, right. I know about iPhones and cell phones. Yep. Even though I didn't have them as Marc, of course, because I'm up to date. Yeah, it might be good for, visualize the energy between the two phones then, or you could use what they call it, this brain's saying landline. So something like that, where it's connected via a string or something like that. So do one of the two. So you're actually seeing the connection between your spirit self and yourself. Okay. And then you can start having the conversation. Well, if it's energy wise, then you could picture it as a color of energy going between maybe your heart, your physical heart, and your spirit heart. You can picture a spirit heart. Have some contact point between both of you, okay? Yeah, and just see how that feels. You can see how that feels, and does that feel comfortable? Does that feel like you're really connecting to who you are in spirit? And then you're there, okay, let's say you're on the phone. And then just start asking yourself questions. Start asking yourself questions, saying, okay, well, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel confused? Why do I feel like I don't know what my purpose is? Okay. And yeah, and you could hear it in your mind's, your mind, actually. You have a sense that you can hear things. You might just get a sense of it. You might get, yeah, it's up to you how you're going to get the response, okay? And again, if you're not hearing anything, if you're not feeling anything, ask yourself to maybe up the amps, right? Yeah, up the amps. Or ask your guides or ask yourself to up the amps so you could hear it. Or be presented with it in what would be the best way that you can receive it. That's important, right. That's important. Ask for the best way, the easiest way that you can receive it. Right. That information. And so, yeah, if you keep practicing it, now this is important. Okay, this is important. If you keep practicing this, you're going to start to see a difference. You're going to start to feel the connection again. And you will start feeling more like yourself. You won't, yeah, because you're in tune with yourself again. Okay. And then you can start saying, well, yeah. What is my purpose here? Why did I come down here? Right. And yeah, and it's important. It's important if you want to really look at that. And because all of you really have a reason for coming down and experiencing this life, okay? You have multiple reasons. You probably have 3 main reasons why you really wanted to come and do this, right? So check in with yourself, and find, if you keep doing it, if you keep building up the communication, no, the communication was never lost. It was never lost. It was just, well, no, you can't lose that. It's just that it's been disconnected, right? It's been disconnected. So you're working on reconnecting to your spirit self, to who you really are in spirit. And it's okay if you feel, let's say that you're connecting and you feel comfortable, but you still feel like there might be, something. Yeah, well, tune in, okay? Because it'll work through. Now, like I said before, you can be a different personality. Somewhat, of course, in spirit, because you could be coming down here and wanting to have a completely different experience than what you have every day in spirit, right? So, but you're still going to have the sense of who you are and recognize that, okay? Even if you have maybe different beliefs, or you want to do different things, or you're maybe in spirit, you're very quiet, and on earth, you're very boisterous. Yeah. I was the opposite. I'm the opposite. I'm very quiet in spirit. And as Marc, well, yeah. I mean, I did like having my private self, and sometimes, but I wasn't shy. Let's just say I wasn't shy. Okay. So yeah. So keep practicing. Okay, keep practicing. If you keep doing this, things are going to start looking different for you. Okay. Yep. It's just that you've become disconnected from your spirit self, and it's getting it back. And it's an important, very, 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 very important. Your life will get calmer. You'll have a better sense of who you are. You really will. You really, 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 really will. But like I said, it could take some practice. And you may find that once you keep doing it, then you might start seeing different things. Okay, you might start getting some different information, or some information that helps you. It's tuning into really the spirit world is what you're doing. And the spirit world where I am at really, 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 really does want to help those in the physical. Okay, because you are spirit beings, and you are just visiting the physical for a short time. Right. So we want to help. And we are here to help. Here to help. Okay. Now, is there anything else we should talk about? Yeah. Let me tune in. No. It is kind of the space between. So you can call it whatever you want. Yeah. No, they can call it whatever they want. Yep. Yeah. And I'm looking at this other space. Yeah, I think that's going to be too, maybe not, maybe not. I think it's important just to, yeah, we can talk about, there is another space kind of in between the physical and the spirit world, okay? And you would be accessing that a little bit to do this connection, but that would probably be a whole other show. Okay, yeah. So start here. Yep. Again, if you want to, if you don't feel like meditating, go ahead and take a walk. You can, yeah, be careful. Right. You don't want to trip or fall or anything, but you can start maybe doing the visualization while you're doing that, or in a peaceful place, or depending on whatever you find to be peaceful. And it should be relatively quiet. If you're listening to music, that's fine. Maybe make it a little, well, it all depends. Sometimes it's better to be in a quiet, peaceful place, but it all depends. You could be sitting on a park bench, something like that. Just, find a place where you feel safe, though. That's important. Find a place where you feel safe, okay? You need to feel safe, and you can ask for protection from yourself, from your guides, from the universe as well, but you do need to feel safe in that space, okay? Okay, yeah. I think that's it for today. This is Mark signing off for this week, and I'll check what? Yeah. And we'll hopefully be back. Yeah, hopefully be back. Yeah, we'll be back. Okay.